The chair slammed backwards so hard it cracked against the wall. "Get away from me!" The billionaire's daughter stood on the dining table, barefoot, shaking, clutching a broken wine glass like a weapon. Blood trickled down her palm, but she didn't seem to notice. 3 security guards circled carefully. Her father stood frozen across the room, helpless for the first time in his life. "Lily, please," he whispered. She screamed louder. "Don't let them touch me!" Then a waitress stepped forward. No sudden movement, no fear, no authority, just quiet. "I won't touch you," she said softly. The room went silent. The girl's breathing hitched. And in that fragile moment, something shifted. No one there knew this was the beginning of a story that would rewrite all their lives. But that was the moment everything started to change. 2 hours earlier, Daniel Reeves had been doing what he did best, controlling outcomes. At 42, he owned half the skyline outside his penthouse windows. Tech empire, global investments, private security, political influence. But none of it worked on his daughter. Lily sat across from him at dinner, pushing a fork through mashed potatoes like she was digging a hole. "Did something happen at school?" he asked carefully. Silence. "You don't like the food?" "Nothing." She slid off the chair and walked to the glass window, pressing her forehead against the cold surface. 2 years since her mother died in a car accident. 2 years of therapy sessions. 2 years of quiet dinners. 2 years of a house that felt too big for 2 people. And still, he couldn't reach her. His assistant entered quietly. "Sir, the investors are here." Daniel nodded. "Lily, sweetheart, I'll be in the meeting room. You can stay here, okay?" No response. He left anyway, because billion-dollar decisions didn't pause for broken hearts. But some moments don't ask permission. During the meeting, voices rose. "The merger timeline is non-negotiable. We can't risk emotional instability affecting public optics." Daniel leaned forward. "Are you referring to my daughter?" An uncomfortable silence. "We're referring to perception." Daniel's jaw tightened. "My daughter is not a perception problem." Then the crash echoed from the dining room. Glass, screaming, and suddenly none of the money mattered. Back in the present, Lily stood shaking on the table, surrounded, trapped. And then Maria, the waitress, crouched several feet away. "My name is Maria. I'm staying right here." Lily's scream broke into sobbing breaths. Maria sat cross-legged on the floor. "You're safe. No one is touching you." Security glanced at Daniel. He raised a hand. "Stay back." Maria continued, voice soft, steady. "Loud rooms make my heart race too sometimes." Lily slowly lowered the broken glass. No one moved. 15 minutes later, Lily sat on the floor, clutching a napkin, breathing normally. Daniel approached slowly. "Thank you," he said hoarsely. Maria stood. She just needed someone calm. "How did you know what to do?" She hesitated. "I used to study pediatric nursing." "Used to." The word stuck with him. But no one there knew the truth about why she stopped. Over the next week, Daniel asked for Maria during every dinner. At first, she thought it was coincidence. Then Lily asked, "Can she sit with me?" That was when everything shifted again. Maria didn't force conversation, didn't ask therapy questions, didn't treat Lily like something broken. They colored, played quiet games, sat in silence sometimes. And slowly, Lily started speaking again. Small things first, then jokes. Then one night, she laughed. Daniel nearly cried hearing it. But kindness wasn't instant, and healing never came in straight lines. One evening, Lily panicked when a plate dropped in the kitchen. She locked herself in the bathroom. Daniel tried everything. Nothing worked. Maria arrived 20 minutes later. She sat outside the door. didn't knock, just said, "I'm here." 10 minutes passed. Then Lily unlocked the door. That was the moment Daniel realized something terrifying. His daughter trusted this woman more than him, and instead of jealousy, he felt relief. Weeks later, he finally asked Maria, "Why did you leave nursing?" She stared at the city lights. "My mom got cancer," she said quietly. "I dropped out to take care of her." "And after?" "Bills, debt, eviction." Daniel didn't speak, because some stories didn't need commentary. But that wasn't even the hardest part. She said, "I applied to go back, but life keeps moving." He nodded slowly. That was the moment something changed inside him. 3 months later, Lily had her worst nightmare yet, screaming, crying for her mother. Daniel froze in panic. Maria moved calmly. Lights dim, soft voice, no sudden movement. He followed. 20 minutes later, Lily slept, curled beside Maria. Daniel stood in the doorway watching. Hope hurt, because it meant you had something to lose again. The next morning, he made a decision. He offered Maria a permanent child support role, full salary, education funding, housing assistance. She stared in shock. "You don't owe me this." "I know. That's why it matters." She cried quietly. But kindness still wasn't easy to accept. It took her 2 weeks to say yes, because sometimes survival teaches you to expect good things to disappear. But she said yes, and that was the moment everything truly changed. Months passed. Lily improved. Therapy worked better. School got easier. She made 1 friend, then 2. Maria enrolled back in nursing school, worked days, studied nights. Lily helped quiz her on anatomy flashcards. Daniel watched their bond grow, not replacing Lily's mother, but building something new, and maybe healing something inside him too. Then came the day Lily asked to see where Maria used to live. Maria hesitated, then nodded. They drove to an old neighborhood, closed clinics, bus stops, a shelter building. Lily held her hand. "I'm glad you didn't disappear," Lily said. Maria cried, openly, freely, because sometimes healing comes from being seen. 1 year later, Maria graduated nursing clinical training. Lily ran onto stage and hugged Maria. No hesitation, no fear. Daniel stood clapping harder than anyone. But no one in that crowd knew how close all 3 of them had come to breaking before finding each other. That night, rain tapped against penthouse glass. Lily slept on the couch. Maria and Daniel sat quietly. "I almost quit that night," Maria whispered. "The night I met Lily." "Why did you not?" he asked. She smiled softly. "Because she looked like she needed someone who wouldn't leave." He nodded. Sometimes saving someone doesn't look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like staying. And sometimes the people the world overlooks are the ones strong enough to hold others together. Outside, the city moved fast. Inside, 3 people who had almost lost everything finally felt like a family in the quietest, most fragile, most powerful way possible. And for the first time in years, none of them felt alone.